Welcome, live audience. Some OTR shows, old-time radio shows, had live audiences, but most of them didn't. So we feel very, very privileged that you come in to listen to these words that were written so many years ago. Tonight, I'm sure you've noticed that our music department is missing. She could not make it tonight. She will be with us next month, but her name is Mary Ann Sadilak. And in the meantime, Tom Lenz will be playing music too. He's very talented.
No instruments either.
Now, on with the show. But first, you know that phrase, we know we originally scheduled Mr. and Mrs. Blandings. How many of you remember that radio show, Mr. and Mrs. Blandings? The radio show, not the movie. We have one? My goodness, it was on for only 6 months, John. You must have been a real radio listener. It was in 1951. It was based on the great movie Mr. Blandings Builds His Dream House that starred, anybody know? Cary Grant. And who was his wife in the movie? Oh, I heard Myrna Loy. You're good. You're good. That was in 1948. A couple of years later, the radio show was created, this time starring Grant, and again his real wife this time. Anybody know who she was at that time? Ah, gotcha. Betsy Drake. So the two were on, but there were squabbles from the beginning of that radio show, mainly because of the writing. And even though they added Gail Gordon and Sheldon Leonard, it had a very short run. The movie was great. The radio sequel, not such a much. So, taking the liberty of that other phrase, to be announced, we're pleased to bring you instead another couple with a few problems. A couple aptly named John and Blanche Bickerson, with Don Amici and Frances Langford. They actually began as a short segment on the Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy show. And then later, they got their own variety program, and the snoring John and complaining Blanche was only part of that show. It may truly be said that it might have been the forerunner to TV's The Honeymooners and All in the Family. But we are radio tonight, so it's Breakfast with the Bickersons, The Wedding Cruise. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2.
From Hollywood, it's dream time. Now you can get great new and improved Dream, the shampoo of lovely stars in Hollywood. The new miracle shampoo that lets your hair shine like the stars. Ladies and gentlemen, the makers of the new improved Dream shampoo are pleased to present The Dream Show, produced by Carlton Alsip, starring Don Amici.
Let me sleep, will you, Blanche?
And Frances Langford singing.
Sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm blue. My disposition depends on you. I never mind the rain from the sky if I can find the sun in your eyes. Sometimes I love you, sometimes I hate you, but when I hate you, it's 'cause I love you. That's how I am, so what can I do? I'm happy when I'm with you. Sometimes I love you, sometimes I hate you, but when I hate you, it's 'cause I love you. That's how I am, so what can I do? Because I'm happy when I
Here's news from Hollywood. Thrilling beauty news about the greatest shampoo improvement in years. It's the great, new, and improved Dream Shampoo. The miracle shampoo that means lovelier hair for the Hollywood stars like Merle Oberon. Lovelier hair for you. Yes, new, improved Dream lets your hair shine like the stars the very first time you use it. For its quicker, richer, more active lather brings out far more sheen by actual tests than soap shampoo. And new improved Dream never dries your hair, but actually helps guard against bothersome dryness. Now leaves your hair far easier to set, curl, and arrange. New improved Dream is at your dealers now in the familiar blue and yellow package. It's better for all types of hair. So do as Hollywood stars like Merle Oberon do. For hair that shines like the stars, use new improved D-R-E-N-E Dream Shampoo. Remember, your hair can have that Hollywood sheen the very first time you use Dream. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Don Amici and Francis Langford is John and Blanche Bickerson in Breakfast with the Bickersons, written by Phil Rapp.
Every morning, it's the same thing. Rush, rush, rush. Get up at 7, make breakfast for you, and then clear the things away. Straighten the house, make the beds, do the shopping, do the laundry. Why can't I have a maid, John? John?
Huh?
Well, why don't you answer me, John?
Huh?
If you'd take your head out of that paper for a minute, you'd hear what I'm saying.
I always hear what you're saying, Blanche.
You do not. I might as well be talking to a stone wall. Your mind is always a million miles away. John?
Huh?
I've been signed to go 15 rounds with Floyd Patterson at Madison Square Garden.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, the plumber found a Russian spy under the bathroom sink.
Uh-huh.
I put a nice big gob of poison in your juice this morning. Give me $7 to buy a new hat.
You don't need a new hat.
It's the funniest thing. The minute I mention money, you hear me just fine.
I always hear you, Blanche. What did you say?
I said, why can't I have a maid?
You had a maid.
Yes, but how long was she with us?
She was never with us. She was against us from the start.
I didn't like her anyway. She never swept behind the door.
She did, too. She swept everything behind the door. The house was like a pigsty. Now, don't slow me down, Blanche. I gotta get out of here.
Well, what about your breakfast?
What about it?
It's sitting right in front of you and you never even looked at it.
I looked at it. I don't want to eat it, Blanche.
Well, what's the matter with it?
I never saw such stringy oatmeal in my life.
That's not oatmeal. It's chow mein.
Chow mein? Who eats chow mein for breakfast?
Well, I don't know what to give you. You won't eat normal breakfast food. You turn your nose up at stewed rabbit. You say you can't stand the sight of enchiladas. And you hate meatballs and spaghetti. What can I give you for breakfast?
What's the matter with an egg, Blanche? An egg! That's all. Why can't I have an egg? There's plenty of ducks walking around.
You're the only man in town who eats duck eggs. I don't know where to buy them.
Don't buy them. I don't like to eat breakfast. I never have an appetite in the morning anyway. Where's my hat?
In the icebox.
Where's my lunch?
In your hat.
Oh, very funny.
John Bickerson, what is that cat doing in the icebox?
Don't know. I could have sworn I put him out last night.
You poor kitty.
Don't look at me like that. Maybe crawled up the drain pipe. Anyway, ate all my lunch.
Well, then you'd better sit down and finish the chow mein.
Blanche, I tell you, I don't want that stuff.
Well, what'll I do with it?
Give it to the cat.
You hate that cat, don't you?
I don't hate anybody. That's the mail. Get it, will you, Blanche?
I have to do everything around here.
Eat your chow mein.
Eat your chow mein.
That's what I've been trying to say. Chow mein for breakfast? I can't stand it anymore. Come here, kitty. Come here. Here's a nice dish of food for you. Here, go ahead. Eat it. Don't let any get on the floor. Go on. Eat it. Don't go burying your sandbox. Let me have that plate. Any mail, Blanche?
Bills, bills, bills. What's this package from Kentucky, John?
Huh.
Why, it's a pint of bourbon.
Give me that. That's my dividend. I belong to the Bottle of the Month Club.
You and that bourbon. No wonder we never have any money. What are you gonna do with it, John?
I'm gonna hide it in a safe place. Wish you'd put a light in this bathroom. Ow! I'm gonna kill that cat! Oh, my bourbon!
Did it break?
My shirt is all wet and I hope it's blood.
John, get up off your knees and stop licking the floor.
Now what do I do for a shirt?
You can wear the shirt I made for you. It's a lovely shirt.
It isn't lovely and I won't wear it. Hasn't even got a shirt tail.
You don't need a shirt tail. Just wear your pants higher.
I can't wear them any higher. I'm wearing my pants so high now I have to unzip them to blow my nose.
Well, I'll buy you a new shirt today. You can wear it at the wedding.
What wedding?
Now, here's the invitation. My cousin Eunice is getting married.
Eunice?
Yeah, Uncle Raffy's daughter.
Uncle Raffy? Is that the one with no forehead who walks on his knuckles?
He does not walk on his knuckles. He just has very long arms. He used to be a taffy puller.
I'm not going to any broken down wedding of your cheap relatives.
Uncle Raffy's not cheap. He's a very wealthy man now, and he's invited all the guests to go on a cruise after the ceremony.
A cruise?
Yes. What do we get them for a present, John?
Get the present, forget the wedding. I'm not going, boat or no boat. Goodbye, Blanche. I got to get to the office.
Now, wait a minute. What's your rush this morning? You're not that vital, you know.
I know it, but I don't want him to find out down at the office. My job isn't so easy to come by these days.
Well, I wish you'd find something more dignified anyway.
What do you mean dignified? I'm getting paid. That's all I care about.
Well, I don't like to go around telling people I'm married to a billiard ball salesman.
Bowling ball.
All right, bowling balls. I still think you could do better if you looked around.
Goodbye, Blanche.
John?
What's the matter now?
That's a fine way to leave. Haven't you forgotten something?
Handkerchief, cigarettes, order blanks, samples. No, I got everything.
I mean, is that the way a man says goodbye to his wife? Just goodbye.
Aw, honey, I can't shake hands with you now. I got my finger stuck in these bowling balls.
Oh, goodbye. But we're going on that wedding cruise whether you like it or not.
And now a word from our sponsor.
Well, there goes John Bickerson off to work. He's something else, isn't he?
You said it. You know, I wonder how he'd fit in today.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine how he'd react to all the inane, boring, loud cell phone conversation on a commuter train?
He'd go ballistic.
You'd think people would be embarrassed to say all the crazy things they say in public.
I'll be home in 10 minutes, honey. Should I pick up a loaf of white or wheat?
Premium or unleaded?
75 or 100 watt bulbs?
Mrs. Smith left her washout in the rain. Hey, wait a minute. I saw an ad in the paper the other day for a company called Tell All Cell Call, Inc.
Yeah, TACCI. Tacky. I've heard of them. But what exactly is tacky?
Well, the article here says that they have a crackerjack stable of out-of-work actors, playwrights, screenwriters, and radio players. For a small monthly fee, they'll write scripts just for you, coach you on how to make an important and loud cell call, and call you at the perfect time during your commute.
Holy cow, that sounds like fun. And a great way to take the L out of cell phone. Tell me more.
Well, you just pick from one of 4 categories.
Yeah.
Industrial,
Freddie, this is Jimmy at Acme Bridge Builders. I got a call from the mayor the other day, and, you know, he thinks there's too much indigestion in the loop traffic in downtown also. So, you know, the bridges that go north and south across the Chicago River? Yeah, he wants them to go east and west now. So he's going to route the traffic out to the suburbs to the west and east into the Lake Michigan. Yeah, that'll cut down the traffic considerable. Yeah, we're going to run it like we did the Meigs Field operation a couple of years ago. So you bring about 60 to 70 of you guys down Monday morning, about 2 o'clock in the morning. We'll get her started.
Political?
Well, yesterday you told me I'd be sitting between Mayor Daley and Barack. Now, Michelle, I know you're going to do what's right. And don't forget to remind Hillary she's speaking at my garden club luncheon in December. Oh, and the next time you're in Chicago, we have to hit Oak Street and go shoe shopping.
Religious?
Well, you tell the Pope that this is his old roommate, Monsignor Flanagan, and I'll be in Rome Tuesday next. I'll be stopping by for a spot of tea and maybe a pint, like we used to do in the old days in the seminary. Thank you very much, Holy Cow. I mean, Holy See.
Health and medicine?
Before you know it, you'll be making loud and important sounding phone calls right in the middle of your commute.
Holy moly, I'm going to call right now and sign up. What did you say that number was?
I didn't, but it's 1-800-I'm-Tacky. Or you can stop by their world headquarters at the corner of Maple and Wisconsin in downtown Berwyn.
Why embarrass yourself and annoy your fellow commuters when you can turn them green with envy with messages that sound just like this?
Yes, this is Dr. David Robust, world-famous surgeon at world-famous Chicago Memorial Hospital. Well, I'm on this crowded commuter train, and I'm on my way home to my lovely wife Elaine and our 8 wonderful children. After a 36-hour operation involving a quintuple heart bypass, pancreas liver transplant, brain tumor resection, bilateral knee replacements, and a small bowel obstruction removal. But how can I help you, Dr. DeBakey? Well, I think I can walk you and your team through that surgery blindfolded. So, just take that scalpel in your right hand. You'll see a landmark between the sternal notch and the parietal lobe, and then you'll just...
And now, back to the Bickersons. Blanche, believe it or not, got her way. They made it through the wedding and are now sailing away somewhere on the big blue sea.
It's like sleeping with an outboard motor. I wish this boat would sink. John, get off your back. Go on. Stop that silly noise. Cut it out.
Blanche. Cut it out. Whoa. What's the matter, Blanche?
It's bad enough getting tossed around in mid-ocean without listening to that whining and snoring and rasping. It's been going on for 3 hours. I wish you could hear it.
I hear it. Must be that fat guy in the next cabin.
It isn't that fat guy at all. It's you. You've been snoring like a man who's choking to death.
Not me. I never snore.
Not much. You snored so loud they stopped the boat twice.
What for?
Well, they thought the bilge pumps were clogged with seaweed.
Go to sleep, Blanche.
I'm so sorry I came on this trip I could cry. Why did you make me go?
I made you go? You were the one who didn't want to offend your cousin Eunice. I thought you said she was wealthy, Blanche.
She is. She's heir to her father's steamship line.
She's a hostess on a live bait boat. Fine honeymoon cruise, a fishing scow.
I still say it was nice of her to invite us.
What do you mean invite us? They're charging us $4 a couple. And we had to buy our own linens.
Well, it was a beautiful wedding, and Eunice looked lovely.
Lovely. First time I ever saw a bride with a crew cut.
It's a wonder you saw anything the way you strapped yourself to the bar. Don't worry, I saw you with that bunch of no-good friends of yours making fun of the ceremony. You and your jokes about matrimony.
Put out the lights.
You're a fine one to talk about matrimony. You don't even know the meaning of the word.
It's not a word, it's a sentence.
It's too bad about you. I suppose you told those roughnecks that I forced you into this marriage. Did I ever run after you?
Blanche, I want to sleep.
Answer me. Didn't you hang around my house night after night, bringing flowers and candy and heaven only knows what? Did I ever run after you?
Listen, a mousetrap doesn't run after a mouse, but it catches them just the same.
How can you say such terrible things? I did everything I could to discourage you, and you know it. Did I accept you the first time you proposed?
No,
And why not?
because you weren't there.
I knew it! There's somebody else.
Ah, Blanche, there's nobody else.
I've been a trusting fool all these years. You stopped loving me the day you married me.
That wasn't the day at all.
What?
I mean, I never stopped. Good night.
Then it's true. You don't love me.
Blanche, I love you. What do you want from me?
Well, why do you scream so?
I'm not screaming.
Why can't you tell me you love me nice and quiet? Go on, say it.
I love you nice and quiet. Satisfied?
No, I'm not.
Listen, do I ever ask you to tell me you love me? Do I?
Well, maybe things would be a lot better if you did. Why don't you ask me just once in a while?
All right. Do you love me?
No, that'll teach you not to take so much for granted.
Ah, Blanche, will you settle down? Will we both get a little sleep?
I don't see how you can sleep at all on this thing. The way it pitches and tosses.
I can sleep fine, if you'd only let me.
Well, I won't let you unless you promise not to snore anymore.
Ah, Blanche, can I help it if I snore?
Yes, you can. Dr. Hersey says you snore because you have a long uvula and it flutters against your palate.
Put out the lights.
He says he can cure it in his office with a very simple operation. Why don't you let him fix it?
I'll let him fix it when we get home.
Oh, you say it, but you won't do it. Do it now.
What?
Go on, get up and let Dr. Hersey pull out your uvula.
Are you out of your mind, Blanche? In the first place, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. In the second place, we're in the middle of the ocean. And in the third place, I'm not going to let that medical thief hack on my uvula.
He doesn't hack. He shears.
I don't care if he knocks it off with a hockey stick. Nobody's going to lay a hand on my uvula. Now put out the lights.
In a minute.
Blanche, what are you doing?
I have to get ready for bed, don't I?
You've been in bed for 3 hours. Every night you cream your elbows, spray your chin, roll your neck. Just when I try to get some sleep, put out the lights.
I haven't finished my face yet.
Your face is finished.
No. No, it isn't. I have to let this grease pack set for 10 minutes. Otherwise, it has no effect.
Grease pack?
It's guaranteed to make you beautiful in 5 treatments. This is my 4th.
It is, huh?
Yes.
Boy, that 5th treatment must be a pip.
Oh, that's what's so bad about you, John Bickerson. Maybe your other girlfriends don't have to use face creams.
I had to open my big mouth.
What a fool I am. I go through torture to look good for you, and you reward me with insults.
What torture?
Well, I just wish you had to spend a whole day under a permanent wave machine or have your eyebrows done.
Why do you have to wave your eyebrows?
I don't wave my eyebrows. I have them plucked.
What for?
Because it sets off my eyes and improves the lines in my face.
Your eyes are offset enough and you got plenty of lines in your face. You don't have to pluck your eyebrows for me.
Yes, I do.
Do not. I like them the way they are, nice and bushy.
That's a left-handed compliment if I ever heard one.
Well, I'm left-handed. Throw away that stuff and let me get some sleep.
I notice you never complain about Gloria Gooseby's makeup.
Oh, now, don't start with Gloria Gooseby.
She has to struggle out of 12 pounds of cosmetics before you can even get close to her.
I always get close to her and she never struggles.
What?
I mean, I hate the sight of Gloria Gooseby and you know it.
Then why do you always stare at her?
I never stare at her.
Not much. You made an absolute fool of yourself, the way you followed her around at the wedding tonight.
That crazy dress she was wearing, that strapless thing with the 2 big buttons on it.
What buttons? Those were your eyes. I bet I could have 10 men tagging after me if I could afford the clothes she wears.
Your clothes are better than hers.
That's what you say.
If you want to know something, the dress she wore tonight had a big rip in it.
Oh, you were seeing things.
Yeah, but she wore it just the same. How much longer you gonna be, Blanche? I gotta get a few minutes of sleep.
Well, I'm finished now. Good night, John.
Good night.
It wouldn't hurt you to kiss me good night, you know.
It hurts.
Funny how 8 years of marriage can change a man.
Mm-hmm.
Before you were married, you'd stand in my living room every night and pucker your lips the minute I came in. Why don't you do it now, John?
'Cause I'm too pooped to pucker. Would you stop yapping for 1 minute, Blanche?
Well, I have to talk about something or I'll go out of my mind. Why does this thing rock so much?
I don't know.
I'm getting scared, John. When are we supposed to land?
Yesterday afternoon. I'll be surprised if we get there at all.
Well, suppose the boat sinks, John.
That won't sink.
But suppose it does.
Then it'll sink.
Well, I can't swim. Will you save me?
Yes, I'll save you.
Why?
Look, Blanche, I got a terrible neuritis in my legs. All I want to do is lie quietly so it doesn't pain me too much.
Who told you to get neuritis?
Nobody told me to get neuritis.
Serves you right for catching fish in your shorts.
I didn't catch fish in my shorts. I used a rod. And if you'll just take...
What was that, John?
I guess it was a wave. Must be a pretty rough sea.
John?
Huh?
I don't feel so good.
Lie still.
Will you tell me what to do if I get seasick?
It won't be necessary. You'll do it.
Oh, it's awfully close in here, John, and this is the most uncomfortable thing I ever slept in. Are you comfortable?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you change with me?
Ah, please, Blanche. I purposely sacrificed my own comfort just so you wouldn't squawk. I took this bed with only one mattress. I gave you my pillow. What more do you want?
I want to change. I'm not comfortable.
You are too. There's nothing in the world more comfortable than a hammock.
It swings too much. I keep rolling back and forth.
Well, tie your feet to the wall.
There isn't even any room to turn over. Why did you have to put your fishing tackle up here?
It won't fit on the floor.
I don't see why I should have to sleep with a 55-pound halibut.
I couldn't get it off the hook, and you know it. Besides, it isn't a halibut. It's a white sea bass.
I don't care if it's a mackerel. I'm not going to have it in my hammock. It bothers me.
It can't bother you. It's been dead for 11 hours. Turn the fish over on its side and go to sleep.
No, you change places with me.
Blanche, you're just being contrary. You know as well as I do it's more restful in a hammock. There's more air, and it's 10 times as good as this bed. You'll only suffer down here.
Well, I don't mind suffering.
Well, I do, and I'm not going to get up there.
And throw this fish out. What are you saving it for?
I told you I want to take it home and stuff it. Now settle down and go to sleep.
No, you're going to change places with me or I'll keep talking all night.
Okay, let's change.
Well, help me down.
Come on. All right, so now you got the bed. Oh, how do you climb into this damn thing? It won't stop swinging. I can't get my other leg. Oh, Blanche, look out!
John, are you hurt? Your face is all cold and clammy. Oh, and your mouth is cut from ear to ear. John, speak to me.
I'm up here. That's the sea bass.
Oh. Why do you scare me like that? Get this fish out of my bed.
He's used to you, Blanche. Leave him alone.
John. I gotta have some water, quick.
What's the matter with you now?
I'm getting squeamish again. Oh, John, I need air.
She needs water. She needs air. You want me to check your oil, too?
Don't be funny. I can hardly breathe.
Well, reach up and open the porthole.
Porthole? What porthole?
That little round thing with the iron handle.
Is that a porthole? I thought it was a wall safe.
Oh, I hope you didn't put any valuables in it.
No, just those 8 bottles of liniment.
Liniment? Blanche, those bottles were full of bourbon. You threw them in the ocean. Oh, why did you do that?
Well, it serves you right for trying to camouflage the stuff.
I wonder why that school of sardines kept chasing that shark. My bourbon! Now I'm really sick.
Somebody's at the door. Open it, John.
That's the last straw, sick as I am. I'm coming! I'm coming! Oh!
What happened, John?
I forgot I was in the hammock. What do you want?
You better hurry and get dressed, mister.
What for?
There's a big run of barracuda off the port bow.
Well, let 'em run. I'm not fishing anymore.
Well, most of the passengers are up on deck, and they used up all of my squid. Would you let us cut up your sea bass for bait?
Go ahead and take it. There it is on the bunk. It's the one without the nightgown.
Thanks a lot. If you want breakfast, you'll have to come and get it now. There won't be any food served till we get ashore.
Go away. What a trip. Threw away $35 on a wedding gift. I'm losing 2 days' pay, I'm sick as a dog, and you won't let me sleep. Only one thing to do.
John, where are you going with that fishing rod?
I'm going fishing.
At 4 o'clock in the morning, you're going fishing for barracuda?
Barracuda, nothing. I'm going to try and catch my bourbon. Good night, Blanche.
Poor Blanche, poor John, what a pair. In tonight's cast, snoring as he's never snored before, and whose adenoids will probably never be the same, was Rob Humph as John Bickerson. Blanche, his suffering better half, and also the entertaining band Chanteuse Francis Langford, was performed by Judy Marsh. The captain of that fishing scow was Andre Dixon. And Sue Gazinski, Neil Brennan, Donna Emmonsmeyer, we're on hand in the commercial to solve the annoying problems of today's society and how to stop having to listen to everyone's cell phone conversations. Wish it could be easy as that. Tom also produced our sound effects and, by the way, was instrumental in coming up with the full orchestra that accompanied the original Bickerson shows. We told you he was talented. This is your announcer, Mark Franz, speaking, who now invites you to stay tuned to your radio for the program that will follow in just a moment.